Hello everyone, I'm Aaron, a birding naturalist. Welcome back to my channel. It is November, which means it is time for the November 2024 monthly A Birding Naturalist Nature Challenge. Let's share some bird stories. So bird stories. Bird stories are wonderful. They're a wonderful way to share experiences, to bring people together. And since it is now November and family gets together often in November, communities come together, and December is in the near future. Again, family events are pretty common. I thought that this might be a great time for us to come together a little bit and share some bird stories, and also give you an opportunity to maybe share bird stories with others. So since it's kind of a rainy day here in California, I thought that I would start with sharing a rainy day bird story with you. So this story is from a Christmas bird count, probably on the order of 20 years ago. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but probably 17 to 20 years ago or so, I was on a Christmas bird count with one of my very good friends. And we were new to this particular area. It was in Point Reyes, and we were joining this specific count circle that had been counted many times by somebody else, a different group. And we were joining one of the members of that group, but we were the newbies. And this area was basically all cattle ranch. It was just open, rolling, grassy hills of Point Reyes Cattle Ranch that went all the way out to the coast. And so our sort of task, our mission for that day was to cruise around a lot of this cattle ranch, go out to the coast, count any seabirds we could see, count all the birds on the ranch we could see. There were a couple of little sort of creek-like canyons that we were sort of going to wander along, just count all the birds, because that's what a Christmas bird count is. Teams go out with sort of specific assigned areas, and their goal is to count every single bird, not every species, but every single individual bird in that circle over the course of a day. So we met up with this guy, a really nice guy who was really familiar with the site, and we were going to wander around and count the birds. Great time. Christmas bird counts are always fun. This one got a little interesting because there was a big storm out in the Pacific that was sweeping across the, eastern Pacific and western edge of North America. And that was the day that it hit us. So we got there in the morning, bright and early, and it was raining. And over the course of the day, it just kept raining. And it got rained harder. We got drenched. It was amazing. We were walking along in this fierce wind. I was not wearing this hat. I had a different hat at the time. But the wind was so fierce that I didn't have to worry about bringing water with me, because the rainwater would fall into the hat that I was wearing, and the wind was forceful enough that it would blast the water off the rim of my hat, and I could catch it right in my mouth. We pushed through this crazy weather, completely soaked, completely wind battered, but still having a great time, because crazy as this sounds, there were actually quite a few birds wandering around, even in this ridiculous weather. We found bluebirds and horned larks and just like a bunch of fun birds kicking around when we made it out to the coast. There were loads of sea ducks, rafts of sea ducks, things like scaup and scoter, that were sort of tucked in kind of close to the shore because they were avoiding the really big swells and the really big winds that were farther out at sea. So that was an epic view off the top of this sort of bluff, looking out across all of these ducks out in the water. We managed to successfully go the entire day. We had some food here and there, but mostly it was just trekking through the rain. We had enough good birds, and just the camaraderie kept our spirits up. It was a wonderful time. Another fun thing that made this day really memorable was this ranch dog that decided that we were crazy, but we needed to be watched. The moment we stepped foot on the property, the moment we sort of opened the first cattle gate and went onto this land, this like cattle dog, kind of red heeler cattle dog, showed up kind of out of nowhere. And was obviously like a ranch dog. Like it was a male dog, and this was his place. He was one of the dogs that lived there. And so, he was like, who are these weirdos? Who are these interlopers? But, he seemed sort of friendly, not super friendly, but, not aggressive or anything, just kind of keeping a little distance and kind of just keeping his eyes on us. And when we started walking across this first pasture, he was like, well, all right, I'm going to keep on keeping an eye on these guys. So he sort of shadowed us the entire day. When we did stop for food, I remember he came a little bit closer, and we shared some of our sandwiches with him. But the entire day, he was just with us all the time. No matter how bad the wind got, no matter how bad the rain got, this dog was just there, keeping an eye on us, kind of escorting us around. And also, he did some really nice things where there was a coyote at a couple of points, and he would strategically put himself in between us and the coyote, just kind of making sure everybody stayed in their corner and, sort of maintaining order, which is a very cattle doggy kind of thing to do. And this dog was just great. And finally, at the very end of the day, we looped back to our cars. We had walked, the entire ranch. And he was soaked. We were soaked. Like everyone was soaked and cold and wet. But he stuck with us until we left the property. When we closed that last gate, he finally sort of gave us a nod and headed back to like the farmhouse, the ranch house. He was a great companion. It was so much fun to have this dog just kind of there and watch him kind of watch us. It was a fun dynamic to add to a great, epic, crazy day. So that was a birding story that I remember very, very fondly, even though some of the conditions were by no means ideal. Just, an example of how much fun birding can be, even when hit with the unexpected. So I very much look forward to your birding stories that you share with me. Down in the comments, please leave a story. And, it can be a Christmas bird count, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a big day. It can be a particularly fond memory of a lifer. It can be the last bird you saw. It can be a particularly fond memory you have of birding with friends or family. Anything, any birding story, any birding memory that you care to share will be fantastic. And that is the challenge for the November A Birding Naturalist Monthly Nature Challenge. And so, yeah, I look forward to seeing your responses. As always, I'll put links to all of the previous months' challenges from 2024. So there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole playlist of the challenges. And, this is our second to last challenge. We made it through almost the entire year, going month by month. So I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you've had some fun with these challenges. And I hope that you have some fun fulfilling this one. Like I said, I look forward to seeing the stories that you share. As always, thank you very much for the view. And until next time, enjoy the natural world.